All right, thank you once again, Carlos. Really appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for being out here on this weekend for the D-Day protest, which was absolutely incredible. Did you have a hand in organizing that?
Yeah, actually, the story behind that is pretty simple. Our head of media relations at American Opposition, Tim Boyven, is a veteran. His first day on the job, he asked me how he could propose a new project, and I said, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "I think we should have a veterans or a protest on the anniversary of D-Day." I immediately said yes, and so I reached out to the veterans community, starting with Will Attig at the Union Veterans Council at the AFL-CIO. They were responsible for the rally in D.C. along with their coalition. You saw the Unite for Veterans coalition. They organized that, and Will did an amazing job. They brought in the Dropkick Murphys, they brought in Senator Duckworth, so many people. It was absolutely insane.
I was going to ask, how did the Dropkick Murphys get involved? I know they were in Ukraine right before that, right?
Yeah, but I think they're so committed to the veterans cause that they made it a priority, you know, and I think all of us have to prioritize this moment, you know. Adam Kinzinger was there, Connor Lamb was there, obviously Senator Duckworth was there. It was just an amazing showing for veterans.
Right.
And honestly, veterans are being mistreated, and it's a canary in the coal mine situation, right? If you can harm your veterans, then you can harm anybody else. So the fact that they're going after veterans so hard meant that we needed to stand up for them, and we needed them to stand up for each other, because they are the most powerful voice in our country. And so it was an honor for me. I'm not a veteran, but just to use my platform to try to create an event. And we had not just the rally in D.C., but we had 209 rallies across the country, and it's just an astonishing. It's the largest veterans demonstration in American history, and I am so honored that I was a bit involved with it.
I mean, that's incredible. I think having the support of veterans really galvanizes the movement, and not only the support of veterans, but vice versa, having them there, and then having, you know, an act like Dropkick Murphys that is so huge and so international and everything like that. I feel like that's what we need more of. We need more people with platforms and people with fans coming out and showing their support and getting active, because just that image of Dropkick Murphys playing in front of the Capitol building, seeing it afterwards, shared all over the place, like that's what people hang on to.
And that's the thing, is one of my next priorities is to talk to the Hollywood community and to the influencer community to try to figure out how we can better involve them in this movement. Because it's not just about asking people to do things for you. It's about getting them to do things that they want to do within the movement, because that grows the movement. And ultimately, the creative community has to be empowered. You know, right now, I don't think you're seeing the Brad Pitts of the world and the Angelina Jolies of the world, who you know are concerned, but you're not seeing them involved. And I would like to change that. I'd like to figure out a way to give them a platform to build, to create, like you guys do, because ultimately we're in an age of attention, and they draw a lot of attention, but they also have a lot to say. We're citizens, we're activists, we're all involved in this, and the outcomes matter to everybody, because I don't care if you make $20 million a movie, if there is no society to spend it in because everybody's living under fascism, then what good is it? You know what I mean? And then the other thing is that high-profile people are the first people that fascists tend to go after. So they actually have a lot of stake, a lot of agency in our outcomes, and I want to make sure that we involve people who have, as you said, who have platforms. Because honestly, this movement right now, this is the key moment to take it to the next level, and it's not a doubling, it's an exponential multiplication. We had 5.2 million last time. I hope we have 8 million on the 14th, and then after that, we need to get to 20 million as quickly as possible. The moment we get 20 million people in this country pissed off enough to go out in the street and do something about this, is the moment that I think that man right there will have to leave his office or be removed from it. And that's ultimately what we all need, just to save America and to get this guy out of office.
I wholeheartedly agree, and like that's the thing that I've been saying for a while, is those people with those platforms and that type of pull, we've seen a few of them start speaking up, usually on social media, sometimes at events, but they need to be out here on the ground demonstrating with the rest of us, and as many as possible, just like Dropkick Murphys coming out and doing their thing for this cause. So hopefully the movement can pull as many people like that as possible into the stratosphere.
And I'll tell you, one of the things about being in D.C. and being at the Capitol, I visited the Capitol with Representative Al Green and Cliff Cash before my speech at the mall, is that there's a lot of just fear. And it's even among the people that were elected to lead us. And we need to inspire leaders to lead, because apparently they don't do that naturally. So Democrats, Republicans alike, I think we're seeing a lot of people living in fear and behaving out of fear, and we're seeing cowardice, frankly, in a lot of places where it shouldn't be. And so one of the things that I think high-profile people, citizens, can do is inspire our high-profile leaders to realize that they were elected for this job. When I see the senator from Alaska expressing that she's too afraid to do her job, then what the hell are you being a senator for? Like, your entire job is to check the executive, and you're too afraid to do it, and you're admitting it publicly. Resign. Like, just have some dignity and resign. If you can't show up for this fight, if you can't take a chance on your country, our veterans were willing to die for America. Our citizens should be willing to die for America. I don't see why we are so afraid, especially when the problem is as ridiculous as this problem. I mean, he's orange, he wears a ferret on his head. There's literally no way that this is the guy that should subsume the greatest nation on earth. And the reason we're supposed to be great is because our citizenry is supposed to be great. I believe we are, but we need to get out from under that umbrella of fear and start behaving as a great population that says, you know what? No, we're not. And that's why we're here at the White House. We're here to inspire people, hopefully all over the country, to wake, as I always say, to wake the fuck up and start doing the work. Because honestly, this country, Americans are spoiled because they've never known anything different. I came from the Dominican Republic, and I know something different, and I know how lucky we are. So I just want to make sure that people realize we are privileged to live in this land. We are privileged that we can make it what we need it to be. So whatever problems we have, we shouldn't surrender to Donald Trump. We should get rid of Donald Trump and then repair the problems and build the country we want. And by the way, we can never go back to what it was. And we don't want to. We want to build something new and better and give this country a future that's worthy of us as a people. And honestly, I'm here to fight for that. And if it takes my life, that'll be a fine cost to pay. I hope it doesn't, obviously, but genuinely, I'm going to make the same commitment that the veterans made. I'm going to say, if this is what kills me, this is worthy of my life. So, I hope other people take that and feel the same way.
That's why people like you and the rest of the organizers that you work with and across the country are so important to inspire people to subside that fear and to show that there is nothing truly to fear but doing nothing. And that should be the only thing.
And the moment you get out in the street, and I know you've lived this, you realize that there is no danger. His power is not real. I've been at more protests than probably anybody. I don't remember the last time I saw a legitimate counter-protester. There are not people out there defending Donald Trump. That's not a thing that's happening.
One person.
It's one guy or two guys, and it's always men, by the way. But we are not in a situation where he has real power. Donald Trump's mastery is bullshit. Is projection. He's creating a show, and in that show he's popular. But in real life he's not. And the moment you realize that, then you realize there's nothing to fear here. This guy is a coward. He's literally, I mean, that's why we call him Taco. He always chickens out. He can't do anything. He's not even competent enough to do evil well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think he's the most pathetic human being I've ever been aware of. Elon Musk is similarly pathetic. I'm glad they're fighting each other, because honestly, as long as the Nazis are fighting each other, that's good for us. But frankly, have you ever met anybody as genuinely ridiculous as Donald Trump? I haven't. I don't even know anybody who has. Honestly, we may have actually elected the dumbest, most ridiculous human being as president of the United States, and we really need to do something about about that as quickly as possible.
Well, thank you for all that you do. I know that you said that you're about to go to the airport to go to your next destination. What's coming up for you in the coming week? I know, will you be back here on the 14th, or will you be elsewhere?
I don't know exactly where I'll be. That's those are conversations that are happening this week.
Okay.
But I will be there, and we are fully committed to the 14th, to no kings. This country will not be ruled in that way, and I will say this: I need that, personally need that to be the largest protest we've ever had. I need the momentum to reaffirm that what we're doing is valuable, and that people believe in our mission, which is to get rid of Donald Trump. And if people believe in that mission, please don't surrender to fear. Show up. We have proven that our protests are peaceful, that our movement is peaceful, and that we are making progress. And the reason I know that is because Fox News called me a terrorist. Elon Musk called me evil. And I realized that as long as Elon Musk is calling me evil and Fox News is calling me a terrorist, then we are getting to them. They're realizing that their power is fickle, that the ground underneath them can be taken out, and that we're doing the work. And honestly, I just want every American to show up, and I want all of us to be called evil by Elon Musk and terrorists by Fox News, because ultimately, as you've seen in Los Angeles, when we stand up, they turn around, even the armed ones, because there's nothing that can counter the power of the American people, especially when we're pissed with righteous anger. And honestly, right now, we're pissed. It's righteous anger, and we're going to show up, and I need this country to show up on the 14th and show these bastards that we're going to take them on head on, because we are not afraid of them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you.